New revelations that it will be the end of Ospreys rugby as we know it as the WRU and Swansea Council row escalates. Paul wouldn't be here if it wasn't for specialised cancer treatment. He's one of many angered that potentially life-saving therapy is being scrapped. The villagers getting revved up by the traffic calming measures that they say are damaging trade. And burning rubber, simulator style, the new cyber racing game that's in pole position. Hello, good evening to you. First tonight, confirmation that Ospreys will be the team to go in Welsh Rugby Union's restructure of the regional game if current plans go ahead. In a clear show of their frustration, Swansea Council have tonight revealed the details of a meeting between them, the WRU and the Chief Executive of the Ospreys. They reveal that the club will cease to have a professional team from next year if their current owners Y11 go ahead with plans to purchase rival region Cardiff. Well, our sports reporter Matt Southcombe is in Swansea for us this evening. Matt, this is really unprecedented steps taken by the council today.
Yes, absolutely, Andrea. I've spoken to a legal expert this evening who tells me this is a serious letter that requires a serious response from the WRU and Ospreys owners Y11. It was written with the advice of a KC. Swansea Council say that there would be an avoidable loss of £1.5 million if this move was to go ahead. They're seeking damages and an injunction for what they say is a breach of competition law. It's the latest twist in Welsh Rugby's latest saga. Swansea Council's fight to save professional rugby in its city is well and truly on. In the last few hours, it's published details from a key meeting it held with the WRU and owners of the Ospreys, Y11. A meeting, it says, left them with the clear understanding that the Ospreys would not continue as a professional side after next season. The council's now issued a legal letter to the Welsh Rugby Union and Y11, demanding an immediate pause on the restructuring, which it says is an unlawful restriction of competition. It also highlights the major financial and cultural impacts that losing the side would have on the city, a worry echoed by its supporters club.
Take my hat off to Rob Stewart, and I take my hat off to Torsten Bell, Carolyn Harris, who have stood up and spoken their mind and said that the Ospreys need to remain in this area for the good of the area.
From the moment the Welsh Rugby Union announced its move to 3 professional clubs, the Ospreys were under threat.
How can you also then be comfortable with potentially losing professional rugby in Wales's second biggest city in Swansea?
So I wouldn't say we're comfortable with that at all. And if that is a result of the West licence going one way rather than the other way, then we would want to work with Swansea to make sure that professional rugby continued in Swansea in a variety of different ways.
When the Ospreys owners Y11 emerged as the frontrunners to buy Cardiff Rugby, that threat became existential. But the players and staff were left without answers.
We didn't get anywhere near the amount of clarity that everybody was looking for. What we know is from yesterday's meeting that our owners are interested in discussing a potential purchase of Cardiff Rugby, and we don't know anything around what that purchase looks like.
It wasn't long until the players themselves spoke out. In a statement, they said, "We have been left in the dark by the WRU and Y11. We struggle to believe the most successful Welsh team to exist is on the brink of non-existence." Ex-players who helped the region win 4 league titles also went public. A statement endorsed by the likes of Alan Wynne-Jones, Shane Williams, Gavin Henson and James Hook read, "Cutting a team comes with no guarantee of future success. We believe it more likely to lead to the opposite scenario, with Welsh rugby caught in a downward spiral. We support the calls for the WRU and Y11 to pause the current process and rethink their approach." Now politicians are involved. Fans have protested. and there are calls from some local clubs for an extraordinary general meeting to hold a vote of no confidence in Chair Richard Collier-Keywood. The last time the WRU Chair, Chief Executive or Director of Rugby were made available to face questions was when ITV News spoke to Collier-Keywood in December. Well, as we were coming on air this evening, I received a statement from the Ospreys, and it says no decisions have been made regarding the Ospreys' future beyond 26-27 season, and no statements have been made by CEO Lance Bradley or anyone else associated with the Ospreys which contradict that. Well, joining me now is Swansea Council leader Rob Stewart. Rob, thanks for joining us. Lance Bradley says that he's never said the Ospreys will cease to exist beyond next season. Your response to that?
Well, look, we had a meeting with Lance and with Abby. There were 5 senior officers from the council there. They took copious notes of the meeting. We've negotiated with the Ospreys and WRU to release minutes. They weren't happy with the content of the minutes, so we released the statement that brings those themes to the public, because the public have a right to know what was discussed in that meeting.
So as we stand here today, what is your understanding of the future of the Ospreys?
Well, it's clear, I mean, again, in the statement that's been issued, the words professional and regional are omitted. And I think that's our concern here, is that there may well be some entity called the Ospreys at some point in the future, but is actually a regional side playing here in Swansea at a professional level as they play now. So we are having to take action early to prevent an outcome that will see the Ospreys eliminated in the way people understand the team to exist today.
And if there is no professional rugby in Swansea moving forward, what impact would that have on the city?
It'll be massive. I mean, the economic impact is well in excess of £12 million a year just direct from the games. There are 20,000 people who participate in rugby here in Swansea every year. All of that will be swept away. And of course there's potential of new leagues, new sponsorship, new opportunities that could come in future years, and all of that would be lost if we don't make a stand today.
And just finally, what do you want to see from the Welsh Rugby Union and Ospreys owners Y11 now?
Well, our legal letter is really clear. Stop, pause, get back around the table, look at a different plan. I think across Wales people do not want to see the reduction to 3 or 2. People want to see 4 sides continue. We believe there's enough money in the WRU system if it's spent properly to achieve that.
Rob Stewart, Swansea Council leader, thank you very much for joining us tonight. So there we have it then, Andrea. Wales face England this weekend, but right now this is the biggest story in Welsh rugby, and there is plenty more to come.
Yeah, the spotlight definitely elsewhere. Matt, thank you very much indeed. Police investigating the death of a 9-month-old baby killed in a dog attack have made further arrests. Jonty William Bluck was bitten by the family pet in Roggett near Caldicot. Detectives previously arrested a man in his 30s and a woman in her 20s on suspicion of being in charge of the dangerously out-of-control dog following Jonty's death in November. Our reporter Hamish Auskerry is live for us from the newsroom this evening. So, Hamish, what's the latest on this?
Well, Andrea, Gwent Police have been continuing to investigate the circumstances around the tragic death of Jonty William Bluck after he was attacked by an XL bully dog last year. Jonty suffered severe head wounds and died before reaching hospital in an ambulance. A provisional cause of death was given as a compressive head injury consistent with a dog bite. Police have confirmed this afternoon that a man in his 30s and a woman in her 60s have been arrested on suspicion of perverting the course of justice in connection to Jonty's death. The pair are both from Chepstow and they've been bailed as the investigation continues. You'll remember that since the end of 2023 it has been illegal to sell, give away, abandon or breed from an XL bully. But the family dog involved in this case had been correctly registered and held a certificate of exemption. After the attack, the dog was put down. The Assistant Chief Constable of Gwent Police, Vicky Townsend, said that while she appreciates there is a lot of interest in this case, she reminded people that speculation online can impact the investigation. The inquest into Jonty's death opened in November last year and was adjourned until August later this year.
OK, Hamish, thank you very much indeed. A man from Cardiff says he's angry and disappointed that a treatment which saved his life will no longer be available for patients on the NHS. Paul Madley is in remission from mantle cell lymphoma and he's now has joined an appeal to reverse the decision by NICE, the body that approves different drugs. As Gwennan Campbell reports.
Back in August 2021, Paul Madley was diagnosed with stage 4 mantle cell lymphoma, a rare form of blood cancer.
You think that life is fantastic, and then suddenly you get the bombshell that actually life isn't quite so perfect, and you think, crikey, I've got a form of cancer. What's going to happen?
After numerous rounds of failed treatments, he was offered an advanced form of immunotherapy called CAR T cell therapy.
I felt very, very fortunate to be able to have this treatment. It's something that has helped me prolong my life. Last year, I had the great news that I was back in remission because of CAR T cell.
But this treatment won't be an option for people like Paul for much longer, as the body that decides which medicines are available on the NHS has recommended dropping CAR T cell therapy as a treatment option for people whose cancers have come back or those who haven't responded to other treatments.
Naturally, I feel very sad, I feel very disappointed, and I feel very angry about it. This might be their last hope, and I think that they should be given that opportunity.
And the decision has left charities disappointed too.
So we're really asking NICE to reconsider their decision because it makes such an impact on patients, and we would like this treatment to continue to be accessible for patients moving forward. I think the only thing worse than no cure is a potential cure that patients can't access. And in 2026, there's so many advancements in cancer treatments and so much progress being made. This really feels like a step in the wrong direction.
A spokesperson for NICE said, "We understand this decision will be deeply disappointing for people with mantle cell lymphoma and recognise the distress it has caused. Sadly, evidence shows the treatment does not work as well in clinical practice as it did in trials. There are other treatment options available, and NICE is currently evaluating 2 further treatments." A formal appeal has been launched, and for blood cancer patients, the fight to access this life-changing drug is far from over. Gwenann Campbell, ITV News.
OK, still to come on the programme. It looks like Megan's got the need for speed, Megan.
I am giving it a go. What I'm doing it, why I'm doing it, how it's going, why it's important. More later in the programme. And join me later in the programme. More wet and windy weather in the forecast, I'm afraid, plus an additional yellow weather warning for heavy rain. I'll have more later.
Megan and Georgie both coming up a little later. But first, the future of a rural post office in Ceredigion is under threat thanks to traffic calming measures being introduced in the local village. That is the view of people living in Llanrystud who are protesting against the roadworks, which they say are dangerous and damaging to trade there. Lewis Rhys-Jones has the story.
Taking a stand. Residents in and around Llanrystud say their post office is a lifeline. But there's anxiety the shop will be forced to close as a result of a new pedestrian crossing and bollards, which will take away 50% of the business's parking area.
It's essential to us due to our contractual obligations to courier services, Royal Mail and to cash in transit. We do hundreds of transactions every day. We need to be able to offer all facilities to our customers and to the village. And without sufficient parking, this could be the end of the post office here.
Locals have long called for traffic calming measures along this road which leads to the nearby school, but some think it's the wrong location for a crossing.
This is supposed to be 20 miles an hour. People don't do 20 miles an hour. If people kept to the speed limit, there wouldn't be a need for this silly scheme.
It does not justify putting a burden on a local business, 80% of whose trade is dependent on people coming in cars and parking here.
Llanrystud Road Safety Group have accused the local authority of keeping them in the dark about the plans and wish they'd been better consulted.
certainly not going to be safer, no. It's going to make matters much worse as far as we're concerned anyway. And we live in the village, we see what's going on every day. And to have this sort of obstruction on a blind bend, is just madness.
Ceredigion County Council said in a statement that these proposals follow an extensive design process which has evolved over several years through community engagement. They go on to say that they had met with the tenants and owners of the post office to discuss how the design might affect them. And following consultation and correspondence, the council have subsequently made changes to reduce the impact on parking whilst maintaining the aspirations of the project. The scheme is pressing ahead, but staff and customers hope it won't spell the end of their beloved post office. Lewis Rhys-Jones, ITV News, Llanrystyd.
It is 16 minutes past 6 now. If you want more detail on any of the week's news, as well as analysis from our journalists, you can sign up to our Substack newsletter. It lands every Saturday morning, and here's everything you need to know. Just scan the QR code on your screen now, where you can sign up on Substack. You only have to do it once, and after that we'll automatically email you our weekly newsletter, where you can read more in-depth analysis and insight from our reporters into the biggest stories around Wales. It's completely free to sign up, and you can read it on your phone and tablet too. Just scan the QR code to sign up, or if you're already on Substack, search ITV Wales. Now, you may not have heard of it, but it's a hobby that is gaining traction with millions across the globe taking it up. Simulator racing sees car enthusiasts take to the wheel from the comfort of their own home. In fact, the sport has grown so much that people can now turn professional. Well, Megan Boots at a company in Pontyclun that makes the simulators. Well, we saw earlier that you were having a bit of a go. You were keen.
Thanks, Andrea. Yeah, when you think racing, you're probably used to this, a physical car, physical tyres, physical track. That is not what's going on here. I'm delighted to say Joe Armand, the co-director, joins us here live on Wales at 6. Joe, hello. Explain what is going on here.
So we are a sim racing centre based in South Wales,
Yeah.
in Llantrisant, and behind me you can see some of our regular customers currently racing against each other on the Nordschleife, which is also known as the Nürburgring.
Oh wow, and even I know that's a tricky that's a tricky one. And so they're all racing against each other, but actually they could be racing with people right across the world.
All across the world they can race whoever they want, essentially.
Yeah, and you know, Andrea was saying just earlier that this is a growing sport, but actually I think I read that in 4 years' time, 900 million people are going to be taking part in esports. So you saw a little earlier me having a go, but Joe, can you show me a proper go? How does this work?
Yeah, so this is one of our flagship simulators.
Okay.
It's got a full motion system, clutch,
Right.
brake and pedal.
Right.
Accelerator, sorry.
Yep.
So if you
I've got
pop
the
your
gear.
headphone on here.
Okay.
So what you can do is just knock the accelerator in first gear and away you go.
And hope for the best. Okay, and I think you might be able to tell, you probably can't hear things, but it sounds like I'm racing. It's definitely moving like I'm racing. Joe, as a business, this has really grown over the last few years.
Yeah, massively. I mean, we started off, you know, we built some small simulators and just to see what happened, really.
Yeah.
And now we've grown into this sort of £15,000 like ultimate simulator, you know, and it moves. It's got hydraulic brakes and accelerator.
I mean, I've never been in an
hydraulic
F1
handbrake.
car, but it's giving me some sense. Look, I'm going to let you see people actually racing well to see what these things are capable of, because I am still in first gear. But Joe, you were saying as well as, you know, it's obviously fun. It's actually quite good for people who want to get into F1 driving, perhaps, because that's quite an expensive sport to try and get into.
Yeah, it's definitely a route into the real motorsport. I think, you know, it allows people on a lower budget to access the system, you know, and learn the fundamentals of racing in a safe environment as well.
Yeah.
Because, you know, you put someone in a car who doesn't really know how to drive and put them on a track at ridiculous speeds, something's going to go wrong. So they can learn all the basics of racing in a safe environment here.
Brilliant. Well, Joe, thank you very much. Well, as well as learning the basics of driving, this is a huge growing industry for the people designing the games, building it, business, and it's something here in Wales we're keen to build on. But for the moment, I think I need the practice. Joe, thank you very much. Here we go.
And we're eyes on the road, Megan, eyes on the road. Concentrate now. And now, a small cafe in Prestatyn has introduced a scheme to boost kindness in the local community. Nutty Butties has introduced a pay it forward scheme where customers can donate a free cup of coffee or meal to people who are homeless. Rob Shelley has the story.
Welcome to Nutty's Butties, a great British cafe at the top of Prestatyn, where, amongst a pretty comprehensive menu, you can now buy a cuppa or a coffee or even a meal for a complete stranger.
We don't get the homeless people in, so this is a chance to get somebody to come in, sit down, have a warm, have a nice hot drink, have some food.
Now, the Caffè Sospeso is an idea that apparently started in Naples during World War II. Basically, the idea was that if you'd had a good day or you had a bit of luck, you bought 2 coffees, one for you and one for someone you've never actually met. It's not the hit of caffeine or something quick to eat. It's the company and the banter and just forgetting about stuff for a while, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. It's just nice to sit in the warm as well, and just have a little chat to people. It's the social aspect of it as well, because when you're living on the streets, I would imagine you would miss that very much. I think it would be very lonely.
It's an idea that's warmed up across the country like a decent latte in the past few years. Here they've pretty much only just started adding altruism to the menu, but it's already working.
There's a lady in the shop donated £10 straight away. We've had a lady from America donate as well, Jodie over there in Boston. We put it on our Facebook and straight away she donated online via the QR code.
Wow!
So it's going good.
Those signs that suggest you get a cuppa for someone you don't know are only small, but they've made people think. Do you think random acts of kindness could catch on?
Yes.
That was a very optimistic yes.
Yeah, because I do it with others.
Well, I work in the care system, so I'm all for it.
Times are hard for everybody. Times are hard for us in the cafe. They really are. But if we can do our little bit to help the community, so if you're at home, you're homeless, or you're lonely, come and pop in. We've got some money, we've got some food, we've got some drinks, we can give you a nice hot meal.
One thing about a random donation, it does give you the sort of kick that even a decent double espresso can't quite manage. Kindness in a cold season, it could catch on, you know. Rob Shelley, ITV News, in Prestatyn.
Well, will the weather be kind? Here's Georgie.
Today's forecast, blue skies, followed by a spread of hot and cold plates. TUI sponsors ITV Cymru Wales weather.
Hello, good evening. Yet more wet and windy weather on the way, I'm afraid, all courtesy of the southerly trajectory of the jet stream at the moment. It's incredibly powerful at the moment and dragging in further areas of low pressure. So yes, the outlook for the rest of the week and into next week looking very unsettled. For tonight, we have a yellow weather warning in place for eastern parts of the region. That starts from 5 in the morning and goes through till midnight tomorrow night. Of course, it's not necessarily the accumulations we're concerned about, but it's that rain falling on already saturated ground, a lot of swollen rivers and groundwater as well. So any concerns in your area, do contact Floodline. Temperature-wise, on the mild side, it will be a frost-free night with that gusty easterly flow with overnight lows of around 4 or 5 degrees. So it is going to be a pretty treacherous rush hour commute tomorrow morning. That band of rain gradually clearing away, perhaps falling as snow further north and over higher ground. But it will be a very blustery day as well. And the next pass of rain following in behind. So yes, the evening rush hour, pretty treacherous as well. A lot of surface spray on the roads. Temperatures though, well, still around average or just above average for the time of year with highs reaching 9 degrees. And yes, not much let up over the next few days. There will be some bright spells on Friday, some blustery showers, the wind's easing down a touch, but you can see here the wind strengthening once again for the weekend. Some bright spells, but a mixture of heavy showers and some bands of more persistent rain. But at least one thing is, it will be on the mild side. Have a nice evening. Bye-bye.
TUI sponsors ITV Cymru Wales weather.
And that is it for tonight's programme. Hamish Asghari's back with your late news. Thank you for watching. We'll see you a bit later on. Bye-bye.